All right, welcome to another episode. This is going to be All Guts, No Glory, number one of a limited series, and let's get right into it. I really enjoyed this one a lot. I thought it was fun, great characters. The colors just popped off the page. I'm going to throw it over to you, Ben. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, so just a quick overview or overview of thoughts on it. Yeah, I really loved the artwork. It was fun. I mean, it was super clean art. So I was really appreciating that. I really liked the story though. It was something like a new take on it. So when without like again, we don't trying to give anything away, but it started out one way, and I was like, oh, here's another comic book about some badass team killing monsters, and then it was like, whoop, pulled the rug out from under me, and which I really appreciated. And then by the end of it, it had another whole twist for me. I was like, what the hell? So now it's going off from where I started to where it finished. It was completely different direction than I thought, and so I really appreciated that because I just felt it was going to be another just like those first few like first page or two. I was like, it's a retread, and it is completely not. So I really great pick, Paul, for this week.
Yeah,
I'll hand it
absolutely.
off. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I felt like the artwork is, very, comic booky style. It's just got a great feel to it, and like I said, the colors were just really popped for me. And I
mm-hmm.
agree with you. The characters were interesting. I got a real kind of aliens vibe with the crew that comes in and takes care of business. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and then the crew that comes in and does the cleanup was a real different take. That
Yep.
you normally see the story that you're going to follow is the badasses, and and there was just a lot. You could feel a lot of references to other things, like especially when the one character when they have him in high school, I immediately got Peter Parker vibes, from that. So there was like
Yeah.
kind of aliens with Peter Parker, and then cleanup crew. So there was a lot of different elements from other things, but I really liked the fact that each one of the characters I felt like they had their own voice. Like even if I
Yeah.
wasn't seeing them on screen, like the writing was top
Mm-hmm.
notch. That you could
Yep.
feel that there was a distinction between the characters, which was
Mm-hmm.
really rare, I think, especially
Yep.
for indie books.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I just really enjoyed the build up, and the uh, the cliffhanger ending just makes me immediately want to jump into episode two. So yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, thanks again, Paul. It was a great pick. Yeah, what were your
I
thoughts
you
on it?
know, I tell you, I figured you guys would like it because it did have that twist, right? I had read the premise before I bought the book, and then when I got the book, right away, to me the colors pop. Usually, these kind of stories they're kind of dreary and they kind of make it a little dark, and in theme and color, and it's maybe sometimes hard to distinguish things a little bit. But this seemed more of kind of like one of those one of those kind of like those pop art horror movies, where
Yeah.
where it's serious, and like you guys said, it starts out kind of familiar, and then all of a sudden here comes like Craig the cleanup guy, right, who's got to like mop up all the guts, and they're like, oh, here we go. We don't ask questions. We just clean up the gore. And all of a sudden there's a little rap on the door, and they're like, wait, what's that? And I was like, no way. I'm like, okay. And that's why I figured you guys would like it, just because it kind of gave you that off ramp, because yeah, you're right, Shane. It kind of has that I don't know, like that killer team coming in, and they're just going to like mop everything up, and then they go on to the next scene, and you're like, and then one of them gets bit and turns into a vampire, and they struggle over how they're going to kill their friend and all that. And you're like, yeah, okay, I've seen that like 900,000 times before. And then all of a sudden, they kind of off road it a little bit. So I really like that part of it. And the aliens thing kind of cracks me up because it's like, you remember Bill Paxton's character when he
Yep.
says to that the one female member of the team. He's like, "Hey, Vasquez, anyone ever mistake you for a man?" And she's like, "No. How about you?"
Exactly.
So
Yep.
it was like, because they were all badass. They all played their part. It was pretty cool. I got a kick out of it. I could see something like that being like a Netflix show or something. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Yeah,
Totally.
because
Yeah.
it's got that, and it's got that uniqueness of the two cleanup guys. I could see like the guy from I immediately picture the guy playing Stewie in The Boys. Quaid,
Oh,
Dennis
yeah.
Quaid's son. I could see him being like Craig, being like the younger kid, like you
Right.
know. That's like who I pictured in my mind when I read it. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I got a kick out of it.
Yeah.
How about you, Mike? What'd you think?
All right, so I gotta start off, man. You know, again, not knowing what to expect,
Yeah.
this book hooked me hard. I
Well, issue two is already out, just FYI, and issue three comes out this week. So
Holy moly. I don't know again what it's if it's a combination of things that speak to us, right, when we pick up a book and
yeah,
we're just so in tune with it.
yeah,
Just the artwork, the writing. I think it's already been mentioned a couple of times
hmm
about the personalities. It's amazing to
yeah,
me how you can just from a few panels
hmm
start to understand the personalities, kind of the underlying relationships,
hmm
just the cleanup crew, the twist of from the kick-ass team to
yeah.
the cleanup crew, and you're thinking, okay, cleanup crews, you know, you think about right, you know, the mob or you know, like the John Quick series, and you think,
Oh
okay, these
yeah,
people, you know, the cleanup guys, you don't never focus on them, but this one focused on them, and it was like, you know,
yeah,
looking at the older man and the younger, I don't know why, but
yeah.
my brain went to Breaking Bad, you know, just in
Oh
that
yeah,
Mm.
they
yeah,
each
yeah.
bring such a complex piece to
Little
the
Walter
I mean,
White. Yeah,
Yeah.
oh my
Yeah.
gosh, yeah,
you're
it
you're
was.
goddamn right.
And then yeah, and then the story, like you said, there's multiple twists going on,
Yeah.
all in issue one, and
Yeah.
Yep.
the writing and the comedic relief of some of the one-liners, and I
hmm
just man, I mean, this book
Yeah.
hooked me hard. I loved it. I loved every writing aspect, the views, the lettering, the art, just everything. It was fantastic. I
I'll just
loved it.
keep them coming. Yeah. I see. I know
Yeah.
what you
That's
guys
right.
like, right?
So thank you.
Yeah. I knew there was kind of a I knew we were kind of looking at like a horror theme here, and it's again nothing we haven't seen before, but that that's the challenge is the writers going through and there's got to be something that goes okay, what's going to make people buy this book if it's just the same thing, and if like those guys were disposable characters, the cleanup guys, or they were super milk toast or just really not well written because I'd rather write the badass tech team that comes in and just slaughters everything. That's been done
Yeah.
like forever and a day, right? In fact,
Yeah.
there's new independent books coming out all the time that actually do that, and they're not bad. I just kind of liked this premise when I read the premise of what and by the way, if we didn't mention it, the company is Zenoscope, which is one of the lower tiered companies. They do have some history, and they have gotten a bit of a foothold. However, anytime a company like this tries to stray out from the normal 3, 4 constant sellers that they have, and they try to put something out, they're really taking a leap of faith, and sometimes they even have to crowdsource it and things like that. So to have a story like this, to me, it's in line with other things that they do because they do a lot of horror kind of fairy tale themed stuff. But this to me seemed like super grounded in reality. And like I said, that's how I could see it like being a TV show or like a Netflix movie or something like that. Because I just liked how they focused on the cleanup guys, and they had their like relationship was hilarious like right off the bat, which I thought was good. So
Well, and that's a great entry. If I can jump in, that's a great
do
entry point. You're right, Paul, because I think the writers it took a hint from like some of the successful, like especially like think about the shows and stuff where
yeah.
they always try to get you in with a good entry point, which is like somebody who's like you,
Mm-hmm.
like the viewer, normal, who's like, holy
Yeah.
shit, this is a weird new thing I'm in. And they
Right.
use the cleanup crew to kind of, well, the kid mostly, right, because he's new to all this thing.
Right.
They
Right.
use
Right.
the cleanup crew and him specifically to have this entry point to it, which I felt really helped me. So instead of
Mm-hmm.
seeing it's just these giant like guys who are probably former Marines, whatever is the as
Yeah. Yeah.
the team, how do you connect with that, right? And I think that's
Mm-hmm.
where some like comic books or shows fail is like making you connect with the characters. I
You're
think they did
right.
an awesome job on that, like
Yeah,
Mm.
you're
entering you
right.
into this weird monster world.
You know what
Yeah.
that's a good point because a lot of times, when a writer is writing a story with a cavalcade of characters, there's always one character that they may favor a little bit more, and sometimes it's obvious, sometimes it's not. And it would have been easy with like a whatever it is 4 or 5 man tag team. It would have been easy to like favor the big guy with the big gun and all that kind of stuff. But you could tell that they put some thought into developing the cleanup guys, and that's what like I said. It just because let's face it, if that was really happening, that's what we'd be, because we're old guys. We'd just be going in there mopping. I'm too old to like blow stuff apart. I mean, I can handle myself, but I mean, let's face it. If they come after me, I'm just gonna die tired. So I'd rather can I just come in afterwards when it's just and just I'll clean up. Okay, that's a nice safe. But then what happens if it goes wrong, right? And that's what this is. It's like it's every job has gone according to plan until suddenly, oops. And I don't know if we want to make that reveal here on the show, and we might hear by the end, but it's awesome. And it's they don't allude to that in the when they were advertising for the first issue. It didn't really say that. So like you guys said, kind of at the end where when there's that twist, you're kind of like, okay, all right, let's see how that goes. And like I said, issue 2 is already out. I've read it, so I know where it starts going, and I love it. I said, next week is issue 3, so I'll be picking that up just to kind of see how it all kind of keeps going. But it hooked me too, and it's easy when it's going to be a limited series. There's a definite ending in mind, right? Which is nice because that's another issue. Sometimes you get like after you've done it, it's like it wears itself out, and you're like, okay, am I collecting this because I like it, or am I just like waiting for the guy? Am I just waiting for him to wrap it up?
But also as a comic book reader and purchaser, it's nice to know it's limited, because it's like okay, it's like TV, right? Another new show comes out and it sounds awesome. I'm like, man, I got too much friggin' TV to watch. How long is this going to be?
Yep.
Like, how, and is this like a lifetime investment, or is it, okay, 6 episodes only? Great, I'm on board.
I'm in.
Honestly,
totally.
It's funny that you bring that up, because I feel like we should follow the UK's version of series, where they set it up where it's only going to be 3 seasons and then you're out. You just know that you've got a story to tell in 3 seasons. This whole thing where here in the US, where we've got a story that just keeps going on for 22 seasons or whatever the hell, until they just wear it into the ground. And it's just like, oh God, just tell me the story that you need to tell me and then get out. And I 100% agree with, having a limited series like this. But real quick, back to the characters in the story, the references I felt like to Peter Parker, that was one of the things I actually really enjoyed. I feel like they took elements of Peter Parker into this character, because he's got problems not only at school, like with the stuff that happens in the hallway, and then his home life with his mom, in that situation with what's going on with that, and then him having this other life, that he's working with this other guy. I mean, all of those, like, he's got a lot of problems, and that was the thing that made Peter Parker and Spider-Man such a unique character when he first came out, as opposed to Superman's and Batman's, where they live this perfect life and they're multimillionaires. The thing that was different about Spider-Man is that he's got a bunch of crap going on, and the world dumps on him a lot, and that's what I got from this character. And I feel like they've set up so many great things. Like I can almost guess that there's going to be a reveal about the guy that he works with in the cleanup. I'm sure that there's something that's going to happen there, and then I don't want to give it away, but the weird costume that the other guy gave him, what the heck was with that?
Right.
I don't want to give anything away, but even the mom was like, wait, what kind of costume? And he's like, don't worry about that.
I forgot all about that.
That's like Tony. That's like when Tony Stark drops in. He's like, so you dance around in this onesie? It's not a onesie.
Yes.
It's like Breakfast Club. I wear the required uniform.
Oh, God.
So tights.
Yeah, exactly. Well, very cool, man. I mean, this is a pretty short review, just because I think we're all on the same page. I mean, I'll go ahead and kick it off. As far as what I'm going to give it, for me, this is right up my alley. I loved everything about it. For me, the story was a 5 out of 5. The art was 5 out of 5. I mean, it's a 5 for me across the board. So I absolutely loved it. I'm definitely going to check out issue 2. So thanks again, Paul. My bank account Thanks you.
Hey,
Wow.
hey, the wife likes gift certificates too. Okay.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say, what's this new Shane like? I remember previous episodes where Shane's like,
I know.
I'm not giving fives. Like, there's always room. There's always that room of the ones that
You
gotta
know what?
grab me and just
You know
blow
what?
me away. Um,
No. You know what it is, Mike? I found his pressure point. I'm like, blood and guts. That's where Shane is.
well, so if it's okay if I go next, I'm gonna kind of
Yeah.
ride on Shane's coattails there, but absolutely, I felt the same
Yeah.
way. I was going to give 4 out of 5.
Hmm.
Actually, 4.5 out of 5.
Hmm.
I'm gonna do 4.5 out of 5 on everything
Nice.
because I was see Shane, the you led me down that road where I mean I'm hooked. I love it. There's absolutely
Yep.
very very little room on how you could improve this, but
Yeah.
I went 4.5s on everything.
Nice.
So
All good. Go ahead, Ben.
Okay. So I'm I'm gonna go with the 5 across the board again, 5 on art and 5 on story. The
Awesome.
reason, so the art, I really want to jump on that back on that real quick. The art was just
Hmm.
awesome. It was gorgeous, and it was different too because a lot of times we've read, we've been reading some of these horror comics and stuff
Hmm.
through some of these episodes, and they try to get thematic with the art and make it like dark and
Yeah.
dreary. And this was like
Right.
pops of color and just like
Hmm.
it was vibrant and fun. And
Mhm.
I think that's what kept me more interested. I
Yeah.
wasn't like
mhm,
exhausted by the end.
right.
It
Right.
was really fun
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
exciting. So
Yeah.
5 on the art. The story was really cool, new take on everything, twist, morality questions. I mean, it had a little bit of everything in there. 5 for me on that as well. So 5
Nice.
across the board.
Nice. Well, I am totally not like, influenced by you guys at all, considering I read the book and suggested it. I mean, I, you know, I mean, I'm going to say 5 out of 5 across the board as well. I wasn't familiar with either the writer or the artist because I think again they're primarily Zenoscope, and I don't have I don't have a lot of a lot of their titles that I've looked through, a few of the key ones here and there, but nothing really major. This was probably one of the first more significant books that of theirs that I decided to sort of stay with. I picked up a couple here and there, but this one again was right up my alley with kind of the horror genre. But then it had enough of the comedy to kind of off ramp it like that and kind of let it up, but also the character development in just one issue. And again, I got the second one, and the third one's coming up, and you guys are really going to enjoy it because I'm going to tell you, um, it's not going to go the way you think it's going to go. That's all I'm going to say. And so, I'm going to be five with the story, 5 with the art. It came out of nowhere. I picked it up on a whim because I liked the premise, and you sort of, it's a leap of faith, right? And you say, boy, I hope this doesn't stink. Because they can say whatever they want about it. It's like a brand new car. Look at a shiny new car, and then then it's the old roadster from vacation. But I mean, yeah, this was perfect for me, and I knew you guys would like it, so 5 out of 5 for me as well.
I
Very
think this
cool.
is like the most closest and the most I think synergy that we've had as a group about a book. And yeah, you've all now that I hear everything, I'm like, okay, can I move that 4.5? Can I tweak it to 4.8 or 5 or just put it at 5?
Hey, just
It's
hey,
awesome.
Mike. Hey, just
Yeah.
talk to the director and producer. He can edit anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll
He can
fix it in
see
post.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I give
He
it
just
a
put
5.
Madagascar on us.
5. Yeah. Yeah. Give it a 5. Yeah. Yeah.
We
Yeah.
we see Mike's mouth. We see Mike's mouth. 5.
Well,
It's like the old
you
kung
know
fu
what?
movies from the 70s.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I mean, honestly, this is the reason why I wanted to do this show to discover things
Yeah.
like this. Because, like, Paul,
Right.
Hmm.
you are an incredible wealth of knowledge as far as artists and writers and all these people that have done a ton of stuff. No, you're being modest. You have a wealth of knowledge in the comic industry,
I got an eye.
and so. when we can discover something that you would never even heard of the artist or the writers, and we're all enamored with it. I mean, that's what this show is all about helping these people
Yeah.
that, you know,
Right.
don't have a following already to get discovered and be like, hey, there's other people out there that are doing really awesome work, and you should definitely check it
Yeah.
out. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm super excited about, you know, this particular issue. And yeah, thank
Yeah.
you for bringing this up again. So yeah, another, you know, fantastic episode. And yeah, I thank everybody for participating. It was great. Yeah. So
Yeah, I mean,
all right.
what I would probably say, kind of to wrap it up is, you know, Zenoscope again, you know, is a company that's got a bit of a foothold, but they're still not, you know, you know, they've got some really good books out there, but you know, as they add to their library, you know, what we want to try to do is bring attention to some of those other titles, and you know, expand their, help them expand their growth, because you know, this writer and this artist may have worked, you know, spottily in some other, you know, on some other titles or something. But again, when something like this comes out of left field, you know, we want to try to bring as much attention to it as we can, you know, and give it a chance to get out there. And again, you know, this might be the hidden gem. Again, you know, this might be the next, the next, Disney Plus, or maybe not Disney Plus, maybe
Yeah, I
Netflix,
don't
right?
think so.
Although you can take the child control off of Disney Plus. You got to do it through the app, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, so you know, I mean, to wrap it all up, I appreciate you guys jumping on, and I'm glad you liked it. You know, again,
Loved
kind of
it.
a leap of faith, but I think I think you guys are kind of digging where I'm going with some of these books. I don't know if I keep finding a diamond in the rough, because I'm not the only one that's probably seen this book, but you know, we want to get on here and talk about it and share it with as many folks as we can, you know, and basically, you know, what it comes down to is, you know, we're looking out for the little guy, and we're trying to make a difference. So hopefully anybody that watches this, our viewers, you guys felt that. Go out and pick up All Guts, No Glory, #1.
And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It really helps us on the algorithms. And we'll see you on the next one.